I plant my plants in more of a polyculture method where there's several plants in a bed. And what I mean by that is I have several levels and I make sure that there's always something covering the soil. If you mix your plants together, you actually have a better defense system because it hides some of them and they get their soil cooled from other plants and they can be beneficial to one another. Not just in terms of, you know, beneficial companion plants, but there are things that you can put together that'll work really well together. And I thought, now mind you, my beds are a mess right now. I'm in a massive cleanup effort because we've had rain every single day. So there's disease, there's bugs. I don't care, we're gonna see it anyway. But in this bed here, I've got, well, this was a tomato. My tomatoes, these were some that were not doing so well. So I've gone ahead and clipped them off. But I had tomatoes in the middle because they're the tallest. Then I've got a pepper here, and then down here, these are bush beans. I plant bush beans everywhere because they stay about this size and they'll add some nitrogen to the soil. See, these are flowering right now. And, you know, then you get a crop out of them, but they help to keep your soil covered. And I find it to be a really beneficial plant to put kind of everywhere. On the other side is squash. And then, you know, behind me is the trellis with the cucumbers. So in this bed alone, I've got cucumbers, beans, peppers, tomatoes, squash. There happens to be cucamelon even in there sprawling on the ground. And then I don't know, you almost could count my herbs here on the end, but I mean, there's quite a few. Y'all, I've about had it with these things. They're everywhere. That I found works really, really well for me. It's also going to help you manage your weeds. You'll notice I don't have a ton of weeds. Let me show you some of the beds. We'll go bed to bed and I'll show you. So I had posted about using your grass as a mulch. And some folks had said, oh man, you know, I want to know more about this because I have an awful time keeping up on the weeds. Weeds are not a problem for me. Now, granted, I do pull them when I find them. I don't let them go. I do grab them when I can. But let's look at some of the beds. This one here, this is tomatoes, peppers, more beans. See all the mulch? The mulch is covering up everything so that nothing's really getting down in here. And then, you know, the more plants you plant, you're also shading that soil so that the plants can't germinate. All this stuff is covering the soil. There's no weeds. I want to actually try to find you a weed. I have been out here, so, you know, if I found a few here and there, I probably have pulled them. The other thing I like to plant is arugula and lettuce in the understory. So these are looking like hell down here right now. I have to probably do a new crop. So instead of this being weeds, all arugula. Oh, we got wood sorrel, but I think I already told y'all that I don't pull the wood sorrel. I leave that because it's edible. This one I just did a lot of cleanup today. More arugula. There's my wood sorrel. Again, I left that on purpose. And okay, here's one. Here's some grass. But y'all, look, only this one. Okay, that was hard. See? There's really no other weeds in there. This one. Let's check this bed. I haven't touched this bed lately. See, I've got lots of cleanup to do. I gotta trim all those leaves. But where are the weeds? Okay, here's a violet. Battle the violets constantly. So, okay, and here's some of this crabgrass, Bermuda grass, whatever this stuff is. This stuff I always have some issue with, but one, okay. Here's another one here. So there's a couple in here, right? All right. Because the ends don't get cut as well, so sometimes the grass does get in over here. But, I mean, in this bed, we only pulled a couple, right? Here's one that I've barely touched this season as well. This is where the celery was growing, and in the summer I don't touch the celery. I just kind of let it go to seed so that it'll come up on its own. I don't even know what else is in here. No clue. Even here in a bed that I've barely touched. Oh, look at all the seeds. I'm getting ready to sprout down there. Okay, here's one. I see one. Okay, here's one on the end. You know? Okay. But this is what? Bed number 4? And we've pulled what? A dozen, maybe? Here's one. There's one. Okay, so, you know, like I said, this bed hasn't been touched, so there are a couple in there. This one, everything's shaded out. There's no weeds in there. Even this is outside the bed. Again, messy, messy, messy. My beds are so messy right now. Nope. So yeah, if you want to be more of a lazy gardener and not worry about things like weeds and grass, cover your soil and plant an understory of plants that will shade the bottom level of your soil so that they can't get the sunlight that they need to germinate. And then your job in the garden will be a lot easier.